Mandela, now known as Nelson Mandela, is a highly educated, highly accomplished, nonviolent instrument in the abolishment of apartheid government in South Africa. Though Mandela faced various obstacles during his journey, he enjoyed many victories. His life has been and always will be an amazing legacy for people worldwide. Mandela is a well-educated man. He was a great believer in education and lifelong learning. Though no one in his family had received formal education, Rolihlahla Mandela attended primary school at a local mission where he was taught British traditions, Christian doctrine, and received the English name which he is now known by. In Mandela, the authorized portrait, Bill Tutu questioned the overbearing influence of the British in the education scheme. He was given the name Nelson by his teacher, although at the time mission-educated children were often named after British imperial heroes. At 19, Mandela proceeded to Hilltown, a Wesleyan secondary school, where the English bias was further reinforced. Martin Meredith described Mandela's opinion of the nature of his tutoring in Hilltown. We were taught to believe that the best ideas were English ideas, the best government was English government, and the best men were Englishmen. He went to the University of Fort Hare, where he met Oliver Tambo, a comrade with whom he would later set up the first legal practice in South Africa. Andre Brake writes in the article, Leaders and Revolutionaries, Nelson Mandela, it was only after he left the missionary college of Fort Hare where he became involved in student protest against the white colonial rule of the institution. And he set out on a long walk towards personal and national liberation. Mandela's persistence in the beliefs to lead many accomplishments in the pursuit of abolishment of apartheid government in South Africa. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary Online, apartheid is defined as racial segregation, specifically a formal policy of segregation and policy of economic discrimination against non-European groups in the Republic of South Africa. He became active in politics while studying in Johannesburg, where he joined the African National Congress, or the ANC, in 1942. In 1944, Mandela and other young members of the ANC established the African National Congress Youth League. After the incumbent National Party won in 1948 all-white election on platform of apartheid, the program of action inspired by the ANCYL, which advocated the weapons of boycott, strike, civil disobedience, and non-cooperation, was accepted as the official ANC policy. Mandela made references to his philosophy of confrontation without resort to violence in his autobiography, A Long Walk to Freedom. Like people of the East, Africans have a highly developed sense of dignity, or what the Chinese call face. I learned that to humiliate another person is to make him suffer unnecessarily cruel fate. Even as a boy, I defeated my opponents without dishonoring him. Mandela faced many obstacles and various victories during his journey. A botched trial, which took place after Mandela was arrested on charges of treason in 1956. The government accused him and his comrades of communist intentions. In an illustrated autobiography, Mandela stated, "The verdict was an embarrassment to the government, both at home and abroad. Yet the lesson they took away was not that we had illegitimate grievances, but that we needed to be far more ruthless." Mandela anticipated the government's next move and tried to stop his efforts. According to Ken Oliobi, in his article Mandela in 1961, Mandela went underground. He helped organize the military wing of the ANC, Umkhonto we Sizwe, or the Spirit of this Nation, later simply abbreviated MK. Because of the unrelenting defiance and constant struggle against sanctions and oppression of the apartheid government, Mandela was doomed to spend the next 27 years of his life in prison. Reggie Philemon writes, "He came out unbowed, prepared to continue the struggle. At a point in his life when most men would retire, Nelson Mandela took the helm of a new nation, and he traveled a long way and crossed many famous rivers. Nelson Mandela emerged from prison stronger in spirit, more popular, and determined to fulfill his mission. Days before his publicized release from prison, the new state president, F.W. de Klerk, announced the lifting of various oppressive sanctions. The ban of the ANC was lifted and numerous political prisoners were freed. This landmark move paved the way for the beginning of the emancipation of South Africa. The legacy of Mandela's life has inspired the oppressed and deprived. Nelson Mandela was inaugurated as the first democratically elected president in South Africa in May of 1994. In November of 2002, Mandela launched the campaign using the prison number 46664 to help raise funds for the foundation to help fight against HIV/AIDS in South Africa. His commitment to life work of equality and freedom for his countrymen, black and white, and all people of the world, earned him the Nobel Peace Prize. Nelson Mandela was never wavered in his devotion to democracy and dignity for all, black people or white. Despite terrible provocation, he has never answered violence with violence. Mandela is an icon whose sacrifice and perseverance has undoubtedly brought about the freedom of true democracy, not only for the people of South Africa, but the citizens worldwide.